Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video, well the first real video, of Poptropica Month. Woo! So, before we get started today, we need to make a set change. Number one, we got the little hamburger man. And number two, maybe, we got Dr. Hair. Epic. So, let's get into the video. So, before we get started today, I would like to comment that the official Poptropica creators blog shouted out Poptropica Month on their blog. Look at this. It's on screen right now. It's just insane. Since then, thanks to that, we have gotten a ton more people to join Poptropica Month that we sadly weren't able to announce in the announcement video. So here's all the people that are also going to be in Poptropica Month on screen. Go subscribe. Also, speaking of these people, MaryannTheConqueror, I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, drew this amazing art of my Poptropican during the tribal tournament party for the Poptropica help chat. And just look at it. It's great. He drew a bunch more as well. A bunch more other people's avatars, but obviously mine's the best. So, yeah. Today I'm going to be ranking my top 10 Poptropica islands. So, without further ado, let's get into number 10. So, number 10 on our list is Spy Island. Now, keep in mind, I love pretty much every Poptropica island. There's only one, or maybe two, that I really, don't enjoy, but we're not talking about the bad ones today. We're talking about the good ones, and Spy Island is number 10 on my list. Now, this is the first island I ever remember playing, and when I started playing Poptropica, I was around 4 or 5, and obviously I could not read, so my older sister was forced to sit next to me and read all the dialogue for me. So, yeah, those are some of my earliest, fondest memories, so I'm glad I'm back, playing Poptropica again. But Spy Island is just a fun island. It lets you feel like a spy. All the gadgets let you, the bow tie lets you zip around the island so good. And, one of my favorite scenes were at the restaurant when you're climbing through the vents. You feel like a spy. You feel like you're being sneaky and you figure that one out. And yeah, stealing the fingerprint. It's just a very good island. The entire thing just feels dramatic. Yeah, so Spy Island, it's really good. But let's get on to number 9. Number 9 is Supervillain Island, which is nostalgic, but in a different way. You're going to hear me use the word nostalgic a lot, seeing as the Poptropica fandom is basically run on nostalgia at this point, since Poptropica is kind of in a mess right now, but we're not going to worry about that. So, Supervillain Island, like I said, is nostalgic, but in a different way. It, reminds you of the older islands, rather than being an older island. When Dr. Jupiter reveals he's Zeus, it's this big dramatic moment because you're yeah, I remember as a kid, Zeus revealing himself to be evil in mythology, and it being this big thing, and you get to experience that again. And all of the dreams in this island just feel great. They all feel so creative and immersive that, I believe this is what those characters would be dreaming. And the final boss fight with Zeus is also very enjoyable. Yeah, it's just a very enjoyable boss fight as he uses the powers of the other villains against you. So, yeah, that's why Supervillain is 9 on my list. Now let's get to number 8. Now, number 8 is gonna be an island that's probably not on very many people's top 10 lists, because I can admit it's not that, amazing of an island. Number 8 is Great Pumpkin, which I really loved as a kid, because A, I really enjoyed the Snoopy comics and Snoopy, and B, it was just a lot of fun. There were lots of, mini games, I guess, but they were all, in the story. The Snoopy scene where you're, crawling through the battlefield and stuff was one of my favorites because it just felt so sneaky, and you see like Snoopy crawling along with you. And yeah, I just really like this island because it just felt like a fun little island. Like, instead of the stakes being end of the world, the virus will kill us all, the stakes are you going to make it to this Halloween party with a bunch of children? And that's just fun. And then when you get to the Halloween party, you're rewarded with 3 new, like, just fun little games to play. I really enjoyed the pumpkin carving one. And I really sucked at the piano playing one, which is ironic since I kind of play piano now. So, yeah, Great Pumpkin. Again, not the best island by any means, but it's just a simple, fun island for simple, fun nights. Number 7 on our list is going to be Monster Carnival. So, this one's less nostalgic, because though it kind of came out in that time where I stopped playing, which I feel like everyone in the Poptropica community kind of played as a kid, stopped playing, and then started playing again, and now just continue playing. And I feel like Monster Carnival either came out near the end of when I was playing as a kid, or during the time I stopped playing. But I really enjoy this island. It's really good. Well, almost. It's very just fun. There's like 3 parts to the island, and I like all 3. They all feel different. And another thing I like is I like a spooky atmosphere. A spooky atmosphere is good, but I'm too much of a wimp for jump scares. So I like when something is able to build a creepy atmosphere without constantly having children stuffed in bear costumes jumping out at you from the vents. So, yeah, this island, of course, has its, like, jump scare-ish with the haunted house, like, marionette puppet thing, but it's not, like, jumping out at you. It's just creepy. The entire island has a creepy atmosphere. That's why I really like Over the Garden Wall and Gravity Falls as well, because they're creepy. They make you feel uncomfortable, but, like, it's not scary, per se, because I am a big fat wimp. This island is only at 7, and many of you know why it's not higher on the list, and let me tell you, it could have been. It could have been top 5 or even top 3 if the boss fight was good. And as with quite a few other islands before it, and after it, the boss fight is just slow. Because in this boss fight, basically, the Raven, is that his name? Bird Boy. Yeah, Bird Boy is, like, going into mirrors, and you have to smash the mirror he's in. But there's no punishment for hitting the wrong mirror. If you hit the wrong mirror, he just doesn't pop out, so you move to another mirror and smash it. Which doesn't make the stakes high at all. So, yeah, I really wish this island could have been much higher on my list. Bird Boy using, like, his magic could have been really cool. Ringmaster Raven, that's his name. Ringmaster Raven using his magic, like, during the fight could have been really cool, but sadly, to no avail. Anyway, let's get to number 6. Number 6 is Cryptids Island. I know this is going to be much higher on Theo's list, but, yeah. So, Cryptids is a lot of fun, A. B, it feels very free. Like, there's some islands that are very linear, and this one is very free, which it depends on the day. Some days I want a very linear island, and some days I want a big, immersive island that I can just, like, explore to my heart's content. And the ending's really good. All the, like, cryptids feel rewarding. The jump scare. I know I just said I don't like jump scares, but you know what? Every once in a while they're fun. The main reason Cryptids is even on this list is because it's the reason I got back into Poptropica. Well, kinda. I was at a bookstore one day when I found this book. It's called Poptropica Scary Monsters. Now, Poptropica used to do these books, like, that were supposed to be, like, educational, because all in all, Poptropica was originally supposed to be an educational game. So they basically take characters from the islands and, like, talk about their, like, real-life counterparts, such as the ghosts, the zombies, and the cryptids in this book. And that just brought Poptropica back into my consciousness, so I went and played again, and the rest is history. So, while I may not have much nostalgia in terms of playing as a child, Cryptids is what brought me back into this community, and is eventually what led me to start making YouTube videos, so I wouldn't be here if Cryptids Island did not exist. So, many of you are probably wishing Cryptid Islands was never made, but too bad it was and I'm here. Number 5 is another island that I have a lot of nostalgia for because it was Small Isaac's favorite island. Small Isaac. I was never this small. Well, I'm sure at one point I was this small, but like 5-year-old Isaac was not this small. Anyway, it's a fun island. What can I say? It's fun to just run around beating up bad guys. The flying, I remember just going on this island to just fly around. Just because I thought flying around an island was super fun. All the fights just feel great. This is Cuphead before Cuphead. This is better than Cuphead. So, don't at me. This is the classic. Cuphead stole the idea. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. All of the villains feel unique and powerful, so when you finally overcome them, it feels good. So, my one thing is the ending does kind of suck in this island, because, like, you finally defeat the last villain, you feel great, and then the final quest is going and finding a hot dog? It just doesn't feel right. I don't know what to say. It just feels like such an anticlimactic ending to this great island where you're fighting supervillains the whole time. But this is back before Poptropica really cared about a plot line. Literally the plot line of this island was meteor hit, and that's it. Go catch the villains. Reading the little manual on like how to be a hero, choosing my hero costume, every time. So good. It just made me feel like a superhero. So yeah, that is how I feel about Superpower Island. It would have been higher. Once again, the ending kind of ruins it, but that's okay. Not nearly as much as Monster Carnival's ending. Anyway, let's get to number 4. So number 4 is the best episodic island. That's all I gotta say. Okay, let's get to number 3. Okay, obviously I'm kidding. We're not gonna stop there. So number 4 is Survival Island, which is very enjoyable. Because I actually played Survival Island as it was coming out, which I really enjoyed, obviously. Because at the end of every like chapter, I guess, episode, I'd always want to know what was coming next. And then, after I had beat all of Survival Island, which it was already high on my list, because I really enjoy it, also, Survival Island does a really good job of making the stakes seem much higher than any other island, because you can die. You can't die in any other island, which I actually have a theory on why, which is an upcoming video in the future, but we will get to that when we get to that. Point is, Survival Island is very enjoyable. But long after I had beat Survival Island multiple times, I had read the short story The Most Dangerous Game, which is one of my favorite short stories because it's just really well written. And Survival Island is based on Most Dangerous Game, so this just upped my love for it. And if you think, oh, the Poptropica creators were just being cheap by copying a short story, it's a very loose recreation, but enough that I immediately started building a connection between them. So yeah, Survival Island is very good. Let's get to number 3. Top 3 time! Woo! Number 3 is Mocktropica, which, according to my script, it has perfect fourth wall breaking. Anyway, Mocktropica's just really funny. It's really entertaining. Just the whole time, every time anything happens, you're like, oh, when you throw the cheese puff into the, pit, for no real reason, but you want to do it, and all of a sudden, all the narfs start piling up in it, I'm just cracking up laughing, because that's hilarious. and just all the jokes hit most of the time. Most of the time, all the jokes hit. And, it ends with a very good cutscene and a pretty good boss fight, too. Never expected Poptropica to have an anime-style cutscene, but it was good. Like, it was very welcome. Now, as many of us know, Poptropica is starting to kind of, like, follow the path of Mocktropica. Like, things that were joked about in Mocktropica are starting to be added. Like, the achievement system, which is less great, but we're gonna see what the future of Poptropica holds. But for now, Mocktropica, it's a really good island. It's funny, and, makes fun of Poptropica in and of itself, so who doesn't love some self-deprecating humor? Number 2 is an island that I cannot legally do a top 10 island list without including. As many people believe this is the epitome of Poptropica. And honestly, I agree. I think this is probably the best island. Of course, I'm talking about Astronauts. It's very good. I don't need to tell any of you that. You're already part of the Poptropica fandom if you're watching this, and you know Astronauts is a very good island. And you might be wondering, why isn't it number 1? Because as much as I love Astronauts, there are other islands that I love more. And these are all just opinions, but let's talk about why Astronauts is really good. The story is a lot of fun, and they just build the world really well. With, like, the journal entries, and, like, you sneaking into the underground dungeon, and you discovering the secret order, and, like, it just feels like this big experience until eventually you go into space and meet people on the moon, and then they give you a spaceship, and the entire thing just feels huge. Like, it just feels big, and you're immersed into the story. And then the boss fight is really good. Like, it's one of my favorite Poptropica boss fights. Probably my favorite. It's just very enjoyable from beginning to end. And it feels high-paced and, like, action-y the whole time. So yeah, a lot of people agree. Although apparently a lot of people thought Astronauts was very difficult, because that is the only island that the guide was put inside of Poptropica. Like, if you play Astronauts and go into the inventory, you can actually find the Astronauts guide. But yeah, it's very good. If you think it's the best island, I would agree with you. Yeah, it's very good. But let's talk about what I think is not the best, but my favorite island. The moment you've all been waiting for. You all probably know who it is. I talk about it on Discord a lot. Twisted Thicket! Oh, it's so good. So when I was a kid, I would always start to play this island but get creeped out and quit. And I wish I had played it because it's really good, but I'm also kind of glad I didn't, because I got to experience the full effect of it, like, as a high schooler, which just made it feel so much better. And it's a really good island. So it's very linear, which, you know, may not be great to some people, but I really enjoy that I can just sit down and play this island in 15 minutes. Like, I think my fastest time is like 12 minutes, so I'm getting there. I should try to speed run it. But anyway, it's a very good island. I love just everything about it. All the creatures, I love interacting with all of them. They all feel magical and powerful. And my favorite part of the island is the final boss, I guess, as you're trying to stop the vehicles from getting to the forest to destroy it. And you get to harness these magical powers that you've been watching the entire game. And that is probably my favorite Poptropica memory, the first time I did that. Every other time, it doesn't feel that big because you know exactly what to do. But that first time, you see the trucks on the bottom of the screen slowly getting closer to the forest as you're picking up boulders and chucking them and flying around the screen, and it just makes you feel powerful. I really enjoy this island. Every scene just has that energy. Like, you can put downtime in your games. There are plenty of islands with downtime that, like, are fine. I really enjoy them. But I really like this island because they don't give you much downtime, but that's okay because it's only like a 15 to half an hour island. Like, it's not going to take you very long to get through the whole thing. Unlike, say, Skullduggery, which is going to give you some downtime of just boating, like, as you take a break, because that island, at least for me, took like 3 hours. So yeah, that is my opinion on number 1. Woo! So yeah, that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the first video of Poptropica Month. I sure know I'm excited. Link in the description to all the channels participating and the, what's it called? The playlist with all of the videos so far, which at the time of recording this, there's been 2 videos so far, and it sounds like we're gonna get at least 3 before this video comes out. So yeah, you should already have Poptropica content to watch. If you want to know Theo's top 10, come back in a week. Theo's doing that next Thursday. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and yeah, we love Poptropica. I don't know. Go play Poptropica after going and subscribing to all the other channels. Goodbye.